Jeff Okudah absolutely did his job.
I said he looks like a high draft pick. He looks talented. He looks long. That experience that he went through would break a lot of people, D-Mac, because I saw pain on his face. I saw pain in his play.
If he continues to play like this, he could be the starting corner for the Detroit Lions moving forward, at least the number 2. That cannot be overstated how huge that is.
One of the things we didn't get a chance to get to on the Victory Monday show, and I really did want to get to this, and as we got later on in the show yesterday, I wasn't going to be able to give it its due time because I did want to talk about the play of Jeff Okudah. And as you guys know, as I've talked about a lot, and judging by Woodward Sports chat thread, was not alone in the assessment of I wasn't feeling very good about the whole Jeff Okudah thing. And what I saw yesterday, what I saw on Sunday, D-Mac, and I coined the phrase to you, I said, it looked like it was personal to them, to that whole Lions team. It looked like it was really personal to Jeff Okudah. And he played with some swagger, and he played with emotion. And I remember saying earlier in the summer, right? Remember when all those videos came out of him working out and everything like that? And I'm like, well, those are cute and everything, and those are good for social media and stuff like that. But how does it translate to playing? No matter how this ends up working out with Jeff Okudah, the one, as skeptical as I was, the one thing I always said was it's not his fault where he was drafted.
Right.
I always claim that. But number 2, I did want to take the time to say this. However it works out, now, people throw the word bust around and will he live up to be a number 3 overall pick? A lot like when I talk about the NFL draft, once you're drafted, it's over. Like, you're here now. Like, you have to keep the job and keep it pushing and keep moving forward. I would just like to say about Jeff Okudah is it was inspiring to see the way he played football on Sunday to me personally because I saw pain on his face. I saw pain in his play. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like inner pain, like personal stuff. And you and I have talked about this a lot privately where there was an overriding driver that was pushing him in that game, and you saw it. And it was personal to him. And no matter how it works out, if this is just a flash in the pan, what happened, if he's out of the league in 2 years, if he goes to the Pro Bowl, no matter how it works out, as it sits right now, you have to give him a ton of credit because that experience that he went through would break a lot of people, D-Mac. Not athletes, would break people in their everyday lives.
It has broken.
It's broken a lot
tons
of
people, and I think that at the end of the day, right, it's his availability. I think that the one thing, if you're going to break it down, he ends up on his rear end a lot, in the cutbacks, tackling. But here's the whole thing: is he's making plays. And they're putting him out there, and he's earning it. And the bottom line is he hasn't been given anything at all. Right, working through the injury in the off season and going out there, and you can tell maybe that's sort of on the defense, or we're always skeptical about our cornerback play and our secondary play and stuff like this. But you do see a bit of a bright light. To me, he's got to continue to be out there. It's more important that now I see that he's out there and he's starting to gain confidence. He's starting to, he's making plays. He's not, the deterrent out there. How many 3rd overall picks reach their potential, whatever that is? So to your point, forget about it. We just need him to be our number 1 guy, and we need him to be an integral part. And I think his attitude, like you said, you can see his attitude filter through the team in their effort, or I guess what'd you call it, the mean or the ready to play or playing with a purpose. The Lions have to do that every game, and whether they use the inspiration from a Jeff Okudah coming back or a Dan Skipper stepping up there, Evan Brown having to fill in for Frank Ragnow. This is a team effort. The one thing I mentioned it yesterday, and I'll mention it again, is I see this team growing, and we always say offense, defense, special teams, but to me, it's as the whole, the attitude as a whole as they're moving as a team. So he's going to be an integral part if this team's successful, Neil. And then we're going to have to worry about, here's the thing, you're going to have to pay, right? Because of being the 3rd overall pick. If he produces, you want to give him the money, right? Because he's earned the money. You want to be able to say, here, Jeff, you've earned it. You've come back and you've done it. I'm not there yet with him for the big contract, but if he continues like he has the first 2 games, he'll get it.
Right. And, you're at the spot anyway where next year's the 4th year anyway. So you're locked in no matter what. You got him next year. Like, that's just the way that it is. But that's a good thing.
And then, but in moving forward, because if he is an integral part and you have resurrected him to be an integral part of your cornerback and he's a good player, look at what yeah, we can sit here and go, I was proud of Darius Slay just because you consider he's one of ours. You know what I'm saying? And making plays out there. So hopefully we can see that out of our secondary.
Yeah, and it's just, for me, I think that deserved to be mentioned because he played well. Yeah. Through to a lot of surprise to a lot of people. I'm pleasantly surprised, no question. But it's always been the thing for me. And Murray Mirage says, I want to see an Okudah interception. And yeah,
Harris got his first.
Right. Yeah, and
they'll start getting him.
Right. And I guess we should go to Sam Flannel because he's a legend killer. He's here to crush dreams. He's here to dismiss people, their careers, their accomplishments, everything like that. He's basically here to step over your dead body. Like that's basically the Sam Flannel. But am I overselling this, Sam? Mark me if I am. But I can't unsee what I saw with him.
I mean, the thing about what Jeff Okudah did is he gets some vindication. He gives vindication to the people who said that it wasn't his fault. He got drafted in a COVID year to the Matt Patricia defense, and then next year he had a catastrophic injury. He has played very, very well in both games, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And in the last game, he was the number 1 corner because Amani Oruwariye was out. And did Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Jahan Dotson really go off and kill the Lions secondary? I don't think so. They made a couple plays, but Jeff Okudah absolutely did his job. And if he continues to play like this secondary could actually be pretty good. So I don't mean to sound patronizing, but I think Neil kind of is going to echo this sentiment. I was proud of Jeff Okudah. I did not expect him to come back this good, this soon.
I think that's a good way to put it as well. Again, and he doesn't get right. He's a professional football player.
Yes. Passion
is a part of it. It should be a part of it anyway. That's being a professional. That's being good at what you do. But through all that, just this town and people in the media, people like me that had their questions about how is this going to work out? Was this a bust? No matter what happens, he got back to this point. And I'll give him his flowers for it.
And I know that Quinn Tricia drafted him and stuff like this, but could Jeff Okudah be sort of the poster child for what Dan Campbell about resilience and about maybe life not always working out, but you got to put your work in and nothing's given to you and stuff like this? Like, it's almost setting the story or the narrative of the seed of what this Lions team is. We look around and Goff and Ross St. Brown and Hawk and Swift and stuff and Hutchinson and stuff, but isn't Okudah's mentality of pulling himself up off the rubble, putting his body back together?
Well, and it wasn't even that. He looked talented. I guess that's the other thing, too.
That's the thing. He's worked himself healthy enough and gotten the right coach, and obviously this, to me, screams down to Kelvin Shepherd. Right, screams down to the coaching that he's getting, and these guys are getting better. But it's the attitude where it starts, the passion, the not being denied, the stuff that we hear, the motivation out of Dan Campbell. What I'm saying is that you're seeing a glimpse of it to be able. Maybe that's one of these things that we haven't given Dan Campbell credit for, or his coaching staff. It's the resurrection, or we always development. We're looking, Rodrigo and stuff, younger guys. But what about the guys that are supposed to be? And you nailed it, Neil. There's talent there.
Yeah, and I guess that's the awakening for me. And I remember the play too. It was on the Lions sideline, about the 30-ish yard line. He made a play, and I remember saying that to myself in my head. I said, he looks like a high draft pick. he looks talented. He looks long. He looks athletic.
You nailed it right there, right? You got the flash, and we're seeing flashes in that moment and go, oh, yeah, the first rounder or third, whether it is. But it's like, oh, there's that talent. Oh, there it is. And we're see more consistent
and maybe I
basis.
saw it. Maybe I saw it before and forgot it. But that doesn't matter. We're here now. What's your take, Sam Flannel?
I mean, I haven't seen him play like that, honestly, since Ohio State.
Right.
When I thought he was actually a very, very talented corner coming out, just maybe not the number 3 pick. And what I've seen in these last couple games, I mean, if he continues to play like this, he could be the starting corner for the Detroit Lions moving forward, at least the number 2. He's been looking like the guy that maybe we thought he would be when we drafted him, and that cannot be overstated how huge that is.
And in the Woodward Sports chat thread, AC says, don't worry, he'll get his interception against Kirk Cousins. So there you go. He's handing them out.